In our relationship with God, and in fact in every relationship, you need to say yes twice. Once is never enough. Let me explain. When you give your life to Jesus, you are saying, Jesus, I accept you as my Savior. Save me, heal me, provide for me, deliver me. We feel so eager and happy when we now have Jesus. But the fact is that you don't know everything you are saying yes to when you say yes the first time. Did Stephen know he was going to see Jesus standing on the right hand of God and die as a martyr shortly after he became a deacon? When Paul said yes, did he know he would never marry? Did he know he would spend years and years in prison? When Pastor E. Adeboye said yes, did he know his ambition to become the youngest vice chancellor in Nigeria was automatically down the drain? The first yes we say is to step into God. The second yes is to submit to all that we find inside God. When a man proposes with roses and a ring, you are quick to say yes, but you don't know what you are walking into. Every marriage has its own challenges. Facing those challenges and standing by your marriage vows, that's the second yes. When you do an interview and you promise to be the best employee ever, that's easy. But the true yes is when you start the job and see how hectic it is and you are still willing to stay there. The second yes comes when the first yes is tested. It's when you see clearly what the first brings and you are still willing to stay. The first yes is acceptance. The second yes is all about surrender. You vowed to love a man, but then he loses his job and you still love him. You vowed to love a woman and she puts on weight after 3 babies and you still love her. You had this beautiful plan for your life, but then God shows up and says, Abraham, go and sacrifice your Isaac. Is your yes to God still standing? You had a coat of many colors and life was all beautiful as you strolled around with a head and shoulder above your brothers. But then God shows up and says, it's time for Potiphar's house and it's time for the prison. Are you still saying yes to God? The first yes is so beautiful and so easy. God says, come as you are. I love you. He fills your heart with peace and joy. But 2 years down the line, will you still submit and obey? When he says pray without ceasing, but your job doesn't allow, will you find time out of that hectic job to say yes to the Lord in prayer, even if it means waking up in the middle of the night to pray? When he asks you to dress modestly, but everyone around you expects you to slay and dress sexy, will you still say yes to the Lord? When someone has offended you and they are not repentant, and God asks you to forgive them and reconcile, will you still say yes, Lord? In Galatians 4:19, Paul said something very interesting. He said, my little children, for whom I labor in birth again until Christ is formed in you. The Galatians were born again, but Paul had to labor over them all over again until Christ became formed in them. The second yes is about Jesus being fully formed in you and about you surrendering to Jesus 100%. Where you say, yes, Lord, just speak the word to me. It is done. It's all about you, Lord. It no longer matters what I want. Have your way in me. Now it's time for you to say yes the second time. This time when you can see all that God is calling you to be and you're still willing to say yes, Lord. The second yes is trusting God even when the plan is not your preferred plan. God bless you.